Hi everyone. I know it's been a while since my last video. It's been very stressful. Got a lot of breakouts because of it. But here we are. I know I also promised to keep this a lot shorter than the last video. And well, we'll see. Okay, so to keep my promise, I have to talk about one of my books. And as I said in my last video, God, major breakout. As I said in my last video, one of my books has a piece of me in it. I'm sorry, I'm listening to my son. It has a piece of me in it. So I'm going to talk about a book called Cower. I have it right here, but it is an old version when it was released under Kelly Strickland, and since then it has been rebranded to Ollie Dupree with a new cover. So I'm not going to show you the cover. I have a program that if I can figure out how to use it properly, the actual cover will show up right here. And if not, I'll just put a link. Oh, so apparently I've also been told that I have to have real primer. I was yelled at for using this as primer. I'm just saying it worked, but you know. Whatever. I'm going to be using this because there was a little tutorial that I watched and I really liked it, and I'm going to try and recreate that. I'm going to fail. You know what? I don't think I'm going to use that. I think I'm going to use this. Ow. This, and this, and this. Maybe. So, Cower is probably the closest hit to reality in all of my novels. This is my usual eyebrow pencil, but I ran out. So I went to the dollar store and I got this. So let's see how that goes. And I know that my eyebrows are not showing up on this camera for some reason. They're like really washed out, but I promise you, I have eyebrows. I promise you I have eyebrows. I don't know why they're not showing up properly. I hate this pencil already. So let's try this one. Like I said, every book has pieces of my experiences in them. I'm going to scrape out every little drop I can because those suck. I've got powder stuff for my brows. I just prefer this. So the main character's name is Pepper. And The book starts out, she's a senior in high school. She's 17 years old. And she is at the Justice of the Peace getting married to a guy named Jason Kasnoff. She is also pregnant. I fucked up. I used all that I have left on this one, so what am I going to do on this one? Alright, looks like it's going to the powder. Hopefully I can make them match. When it comes time for her to say her vows, V-O-W-S. I know it's vows. Whatever. When it comes time for her to say her vows, she messes up. And she says the wrong stuff. And the Justice of the Peace has to keep reminding her and, you know, what she needs to say because she's thinking of her first love, Cyrus. There went my sticky notes. Now what the hell am I going to do? The whole fucking video is ruined now. My son told me to use sticky notes to try and keep the video shorter, to keep my mind on track. So, going kind of rogue now without the sticky notes. So anyways, Pepper and Cyrus broke up because Cyrus unexpectedly had to move all the way from South Carolina to Washington. And he was going to put he was a year older than her, and he was going to put his education and everything on hold until she got there, and she didn't want him to do that. So she broke up with him. And she was heartbroken. And one day, Jason comes over. She's sitting on her front porch. She has rocking chairs on her front porch. And she's sitting on the front porch in the dark. It's nighttime. And she's crying because she's so heartbroken. And Jason pulls up. And says, you know, let me take you out. Let's go down Charleston and just walk around. And she asked him why, you know, because they're just friends and she doesn't understand why. And he says, quote, "So I can help you forget about Cyrus." And that is how she starts dating her husband. And that is word for word how I started dating my ex-husband. That's what happened. And it worked. You know, she enjoyed Jason enough that she was able to start healing from the heartache. And yeah, I mean, she cared about Jason. And then she finds out that she's pregnant. and she ends up marrying, Jason asks her to marry him, and she says yes. I mean, nowadays, and I don't remember what year. I think the book takes place more modern than what happened in my real life. But 1994, it still was not as, I mean, it was a little bit more acceptable, but not as acceptable as it is nowadays to be a single mom. So I didn't feel like I felt like I was doing the right thing by marrying Jason, my version of Jason. And so they get married, and it doesn't take long at all for Jason. I'm eavesdropping, sorry. I think he's talking to his girlfriend. It doesn't take long at all for Jason to start isolating Pepper. One day, I don't like that brush. One day, Pepper's best friend comes over to visit. His name is Brandon. In real life, his name was Shane. And Jason refuses to let Brandon in to see Pepper. And when she tries to argue, she gets hit. For the first time. And being 17 and pregnant, she's scared. She doesn't, she doesn't understand what truly what just happened. However, she just brushes it off as stress because they're living with her mother. She just brushes it off as stress and, tries to forget all about it. As the pregnancy goes along, he starts plucking off one thing after another. There goes Brandon. There goes school. There goes friends. You can't drive. You can't go to school. You can't get a job. You're home all day, every day. You're not allowed to talk to anybody. The only interaction she had was her parents because, she lived with them. So she ends up having a little bit of complications with the baby. The baby ends up being born. And when she gets home from the hospital, Jason, I'm trying not to give out all the details, so I'm skipping over and just giving you the basics. When she gets home from the hospital, Jason comes home from work and beats the living shit out of her. Baby's right there in the crib because they, they just had the one room. So Sally's in the crib. Jason comes home, beats her up, throws her to the floor, tells her to get up and cook his dinner. He's going to take a shower. He wants to be fed as soon as he gets out. And she obeys. Afraid of getting hit again, she does what she's told. And she's afraid of telling anybody what's going on. Because she's just a kid, you know? I mean, she had already caused so much disappointment in everybody else, in everybody had her on this pedestal. And she had already caused so much disappointment in everybody by getting pregnant, you know, and not finishing high school. She was scared to tell anybody what was going on. So she didn't. She kept everything a secret. Years, you know, a little bit of time goes by, and Jason gets an apartment and moves them out of her parents' house to another city. So now she's completely isolated. Doesn't even have her family anymore. Yeah. Things get worse, and before she knows it, he is pretty much basically hog-tying her, shoving a gag in her mouth, and locking her in the closet sometimes for days. And before I say my next statement, unless you have lived the life of domestic violence and abuse, you have no right to judge how people who are or have lived that experience, how they chose or how their brain functioned to make sure that they survived in those situations. So when I say my next statement, if you've not lived it, you've got no right to say anything. So stay out of my comments if you've got something negative to say. If you have lived it, you will understand what I'm getting ready to say. As time went on, Pepper learned her place. And the beatings slowed down in intensity and frequency. Because she learned her place. And then one day she discovers that he is having an affair. And when she... Oh, see, I've already fucked up. And when she dares to confront him, whatever. Naturally, she gets beat. And yeah, I'm going to have to... So time goes by. She gets pregnant again. I shouldn't have done that. Put it on my hand. This pregnancy went a lot smoother. And by the time she's 20 years old, 20 or 21, she's got 2 babies in diapers. He eventually makes enough money to buy them a home. It's a foreclosure, so, you know, it needs some renovations, which is fine because he makes enough money. Because apparently that's all you need to do to be a good husband and father, is to earn money. So Jason hires a construction company to come in and start renovating the house. Now, by this point, Jason is every couple weeks leaving town to go to Colombia. He said, I mean, technically it is for work, but it's also because he has a girlfriend up there. Pepper knows what's going on, but by now she doesn't care, because the more time he spends in Colombia, the less time he's home with her. And even though she has no car, she has no way of driving, she doesn't know how to drive, and she's stuck in the house, she's got freedom. That's her freedom. Her and the girls are safe when he's in Cola. So she's happy about his affair. Even starts daydreaming that he's going to fall in love with the girlfriend and move up there full time and just leave her and the girls alone. Well, I can't remember what happened. Something happened and she got beat up really, really bad again. And she was tied and left in the closet for a few days. And that was her breaking point, you know, because she can hear the newborn screaming. And she's tied up and locked in the closet, can't get to the baby to help her. And that's her breaking point. She's like, that's it, I'm done. She's ready to tell her mom and dad what's going on so that she can leave Jason. And a few days later, she discovers one of the construction workers hired to renovate the house is Cyrus. Cyrus didn't know. Cyrus, you know, wasn't the owner of the construction company. So he only knew the clients as Mr. and Mrs. C. He didn't know that it was the Kazanoffs. So he didn't know it was, you know, he didn't know. Right away, right off the bat, from the second he lays eyes on her, he's like, you're still mine. I still want you. I still love you. I don't care that you're married. Let's, you know, what do we have to do to make this work? He doesn't know that she's being abused. He suspects something's off, but he can't quite put his finger on it, you know? Because, you know, they went to high school with Jason. They never, you know, they had no idea what kind of man he truly was. Oh, that boy. He's got a mouth as bad as mine. So, you know, it takes a little bit of time, not too long, you know. But she finally breaks down and admits that she's never stopped loving him. And he's like, great. And that she is planning on, I was already planning on leaving him before she knew he was back in town. And so there, he's like, great. As soon as your divorce is done, you're mine again. You're my girl. And she's like, groovy. Well, Jason comes home. And through Sally, discovers that Cyrus is back. And Jason loses his mind. Out of all the times that she got beat, other than when Sally was a newborn, he had never abused her in front of the girls. Well, this time, right in front of Sally, he absolutely pulverizes Pepper and throws her down the stairs and storms out the house, leaving her for dead. Just before she loses consciousness, she manages to call Brandon and ask for help. So because of that, she didn't die. Brandon got there in time, got her to the hospital, and she's gonna make it. Jason disappears. Pepper and the girls move in with with Brandon and his wife, and Jason has completely disappeared. Sorry. He is mad about something. I think he's streaming, live streaming, and I think he's getting pissed. Yeah. She cuts off Cyrus again because now she's physically fucked up. Her mind is even more twisted. And now, and now Sally is waking up in the middle of the night screaming because of what she saw Daddy do to Mommy. So now her daughter is having PTSD, and she's like, that's just too much baggage. She's too young. And so she thinks she's doing the right thing by cutting off Cyrus. Cyrus tracks her down. And, you know, not gonna let her walk away. So he promises to take it slow with her. Is he watching me? Kiss. And eventually, as the months go on, again, Jason's still missing. Pepper goes back to school. She gets a driver's license. And she eventually her and the girls move in with Cyrus. I'm going to pause this for a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, back. Sorry, I had to trying to make sure that this video is shorter. So, like I said, they moved in together. You know, the divorce is almost over, and by now Pepper's pregnant with Cyrus's baby. So she comes home one day and she's getting ready to fix dinner because Cyrus is going to be home soon. And then she realizes Jason was in the house. And again, he beats her up, bashes her up and everything. And then he says that Cyrus has ruined her and the girls, and now he doesn't want any of them. So he's... Hang on. He's so cute. So he sets the house on fire, ready to just get rid of all of them. Sally manages to get out the house in time to go next door and get help. And so everybody gets out in time. But the house is destroyed. Did I put the primer on? We're going to pretend like I did. Jason again disappears. And nobody can find him. Even with warrants, even though I gave them his address. So Jason's still loose. Cyrus, Pepper, and the girls move in with Brandon and his wife and their newborn baby. And again, they try to go on. And several months go by. And it's one of the girls' birthdays. I can't remember if it's Sally or the other baby's birthday, first birthday. I can't remember, but they're at Chuck E. Cheese. And Pepper goes outside to the car to get her purse because I lost the sticky note again, guys. Going rogue. There it is. Jason pops up with a gun and kidnaps her. And he takes her back to their old house where he plans to kill her. Now at this point, she's like 4 months, almost 5 months along. So she's just praying that he doesn't notice that she's pregnant. Before Jason can do anything, cops show up, bust down the door, and arrest him. Pepper and the baby are safe. Basically, there's her happily ever after. She gets, you know, Jason goes to jail. She gets to start over with Cyrus. And that's the gist of the book. Now, you know, y'all see this? You see? The primer's like flaking. Almost like it's like a, you know, like a face. Is it a face mask? Perfect primer. Word. So, I don't know. I don't like it. Since the book has been published, I have had a lot of people in my inbox. Why would you write this book? What's the point in writing this book? Because there are lots of graphic, on-page, explicitly detailed events of abuse. So why did I do this? Because there are too goddamn many Peppers out in the world. And abuse isn't just for women. Abuse is for men too. There are too fucking many men out there getting abused as well. In the front of my book, I have a list of websites and phone numbers. British Columbia, New Zealand, Quebec, Ontario, USA, UK, Ireland, and Australia. If you are a Pepper and you're watching this video or you have read my book, man or female, resources, use them. I didn't get my happily ever after like Pepper did. My Cyrus, I never even dated the real Cyrus. I have been friends with him. I was friends with him since I was like 13. But the real Cyrus and I were never anything more than friends. And I only have one kid, and it's a boy. I have had, I don't know if you can tell, this is my little guardian angel. See the number 6? I have had 6 miscarriages. But I just had the one kid. He's 28. He's my kid. So again, why write the book? Because maybe had I read a book like this when I was 17 years old, I would have got the fuck out from day goddamn one. Every one of my books has a life lesson in it from something that has traumatized me personally. And if you're reading one of my books and you're not picking up the life lesson, then it's just a book for you. It's not your advice to receive. Just enjoy the book, or don't, whichever, and move on. But for those who read the book and see the life lesson, then that book was meant to fall in your lap, and you were meant to see that there is life beyond whatever the hell you're going through. Confusion. There's makeup on my nose. Major confusion. People, y'all were not born and put on this earth to be physically abused. There is life beyond the pain. There is happiness out there. You are worthy, regardless of what someone may or may not say. You are worthy. And there is help. Nowadays, more than ever. I mean, I don't know if there was this kind of help back when I needed it, but there is now. He's in his hammock. You see him? Oh, no. Right there. He's in his hammock. I'm trying to think of what I want to say. There is no right time. Or there is no waiting for the right time. Don't say, well, you know, I need to save up money first, or I want to wait till after the holidays, or after so-and-so's birthday, or no, now is the right time. Get the fuck out. If you have to wait until he or she goes to work and sneak out, then do it. It is not a cowardly way, regardless of what they want to say to you. That is not being a coward. Don't stay. No matter how much they cry, I love you, I'm sorry, I'll never do it again. All bullshit. All right? All bullshit. You have no idea how many times I heard that crap. And he was never sorry. He did not love me. And he never stopped doing it. Get out. There are lots of people that can help you. If you need to reach out to someone and you don't have anyone, find me. All right? I can't financially help anybody, but I will do what the hell I can to help you. K-E-L-L-E. I'm not going to show you. Don't look at the... That's my name. Kelly Ollie Dupree Strickland. Find me on Facebook. Don't look at that book. That's the wrong cover. But don't stay. You, and especially if you've got kids, you and your kids deserve better. And if you think it's not going to, like Pepper, like me, well, he's never hurt the kid before. It's coming. I promise you, it's coming. If it hasn't yet, it's on its way. No one is safe against an abuser. Just because it hasn't happened yet, doesn't mean it's not going to, because I promise you, it's coming. And I know you don't want that for your kids. In the cycle. NARS. It's all covered in powder. I got powder on my shirt. So yeah. That is the book I have been most asked to discuss because of the subject content, because of how real it is. Pepper getting married at 17, being knocked up at 17, not being in love with the man she married, the man beating her and cheating on her and lying and manipulating, locking her down, no job, no friends, no nothing. I didn't even get a driver's license until I was 21 years old. And the only reason why I got it then was because he was stationed overseas. And the military is like, she has to have a driver's license if she's going to move out to Germany with you. I don't know why my brush is all staticky. Can you not hear that? Otherwise, I would have never gotten a driver's license, not anytime soon anyways. I was not allowed to work. I wasn't allowed to have friends. I had very few friends. And I didn't even have those until later on in the marriage when I finally put my foot down. And I was like, you're not taking, you took Shane away from me. You're not taking Stephanie from me. And of course, a couple years afterwards is when my marriage completely fell apart into shambles and he left because he could no longer control me. And he's not the only violent man I've been with. My fiance after my marriage used to storm out of the house and disappear for days. And then he would send me a text message of 2 bullets, 45, sitting on his dashboard and said he's on his way home. One for me, one for him. The last time I saw him, I was at my mom's house, and he had shown up. I lived with my mom at the time, and he had shown up and said that he was going to run errands while I took my mom to the doctor's. And when I came home, all his stuff was gone. All my son's money had been stolen, and I've never seen or heard from him again. Thankfully. So that's twice. And both times I thank the gods that I got out alive. And now I am living in Colorado. And I have never been happier in my entire life. And I feel guilty saying that without Stephanie. But I legit have never been this fucking happy. It would be better if she were here, but at least I can lay down every night and not worry about getting hit. And my life is no longer in jeopardy. I feel safe. And I'm just saying, I know when you're in the thick of it, it seems so dismal and so scary. But there are ways out. There are shelters. There are programs. And if you don't want to call the other, you don't have to call authorities, okay? I know you should. I should have. Yeah. You don't have to call authorities. You don't have to involve anyone. Just get out. However way you can, get out. And until you are ready to make that, because that is so scary. Okay, I know. It is so scary. So until you're ready to make that commitment, and I promise you, if you do this and then you renege on yourself and you go back, you are guaranteeing the violence is going to skyrocket 500%. So if you're going to do this, don't back out. You stay gone. And until you're ready, do whatever the fuck you got to do to survive. And I know I shouldn't be telling you this, but coming from a survivor, you do what the hell you got to do. Okay? I'll just put lotion all over my hands, and now I can't hold the bottle. I really like this stuff. I don't know if you can see what it is. It kind of smells like coconut suntan lotion. And if you're not ready to get out and you need someone to talk to, find me. And I'll do what I can to be there for you. Okay? I've been there. I've done it. And I got out. And I am on the other side of the darkness now. And that's all I want for you. Man or female. I don't care what gender you associate as. Someone's putting their hands on you. Someone's calling you names. Someone's reigning your life. Locking you down. You need help. Okay? So I hope you got something from this video. I did not manage to keep it shorter. Maybe by like 5 or 10 minutes. Progress. But I just wanted to get this message out there. This is too important to me and to others. You are worth it. You deserve happiness. And there is happiness to be had. So until you're ready, and until I come back and do another video, you guys stay safe. All right? Do whatever you got to do to stay safe. And just know that at least I'm here for you, okay?